So this week we had a virtual meeting on Zoom with SCMAS, the people that brought you Reef-a-polooza, and we got a speaker. So I hope you enjoy this video. Any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Let's get to it. Hello, and thank you for watching Sabina Reefing, where we go over product reviews and how-tos, livestock, care and selection, maintenance, tips and tricks. Come on, let me show you.
Get a bad nitrate reading. So we know that uneven dropper size for mixing. And then if a development time is 5 minutes, you want to read it at 5 minutes. If you read it at 4 minutes and 30 seconds or 5 minutes and 30 seconds, that color is not where it should be. So the tracking of the time will cause inaccuracy. And of course, worst of all is human error. And this is where the guys really screw up, because once you start hitting in your 50s, you start falling apart. Your eyes aren't as good. More guys are colorblind, or at least colorblind in certain shades. They don't even know it. And inaccurate colors can come from the lighting you're in, and you are trying to compare colors to a chart. And if you're looking at nitrate and you're between 20 and 40, you know they're red. It's almost impossible to read. You start getting in pH and you start getting the upper ranges of pH, it's also hard to differentiate. So as we look at this, we know human error is a big problem. So the Aquaspin itself does a couple things. A, it eliminates all that human error problem. It allows anybody that's done the Aquaspin advise, they can historically track all their testing. They can go to any pet shop that has a Aquaspin, or anytime they punch into the Aquaspin, their data will be automatically loaded into their profile. Now, only they can see it. I can't see it, others can't see it. It is under that managed profile for that person. It'll also tell them if something's off. Now, many of the people in this club probably know the profiles of their tanks. Know if it's off, know if the magnesium drops to 400 or 350, calcium drops to 400 or 3, you're in trouble. You got to add more calcium. Know if the magnesium drops, when to add it. Know if the KH is down at 120 or below, you're going to start buffing it back up. So your corals, but the diagnosis is something that many people do not know, and Aquaspin Advise provides that as well. And then also in Aquaspin Advise, you can set up any reminder you want. You know, water changes, protein skimming, whatever cycle you want, you can set your own things there. So the Aquaspin Advise, there's two discs. There's a freshwater disc and a saltwater disc. The freshwater disc does 7 parameters and the saltwater disc does 8 parameters. Does those in 2 minutes. So we know that if I do ammonia or nitrite, I got to wait 5 minutes for that development time. Obviously, pH is direct. Nitrate's also a 5-minute development time. Phosphate's normally 3 minutes. And if I get into magnesium or carbon hardness, calcium, or general hardness, they're all titration tests. So we have to count drops or do certain activities. So to get these answers in 2 minutes is astronomical change. It's a step change in testing. And it saves time. And think about it in store, which is what it was developed for. It provides more time for that store employee to spend with a customer. And many customers don't want to wait 30 or 40 minutes for an answer for their store test. And they'll get frustrated. So we did it, and because it's computerized, and we'll talk about that in a minute, it can do things that our eyes can't. So nitrate colors, phosphate colors, they all start to develop during those 2 minutes, but they're too faint for our eyes to pick up, but not for the computer to pick up. So when you talk about what parameters, and we've set these levels as to what they can measure for. So our ammonia test kit goes from 0 to 8. I tightened it here. We don't need to go to 8. We know if we're at 4 parts per million, we're in trouble. Freshwater or saltwater. You'll also see I tightened the nitrite down 0 to 2. So it'll read higher, but I don't calibrate out there. So once I start getting above 2 on nitrite, it'll still give you a number, but it's outside the range. You know, if you're 2 or higher, you're going to make a change. On freshwater, I went 0 to 300 on nitrate, mainly because of African cichlid tanks get up there. Again, it'll read higher. To be more precise and lower numbers on saltwater, I kept it 0 to 60. And you can see the levels and where they are, and it'll read these levels. So people often ask, well, you know, what's the accuracy? What's the number? So I'll show you some charts. So here is one particular aquarium. By the way, Lamar is a lobster. So Lamar the lobster is in a reef tank. So we call it the Lamar tank. But that's from university. So that tank was tested 10 times. And you can see the variations in testing, how tight the tolerances are, what the standard deviations are in testing for each of the parameters. So when you say how accurate it is, what's the precision? How tight does it keep it? You can look at what you're reading and you can see the levels. Here's a front reef tank. Again, you can see the different levels. You can see the tight tolerances, 10 different tests. You can see the variation from test to test. And you can see the range, the mean, as well as the standard deviation. So it is very precise. It gives consistent results. Now, if you look at magnesium, calcium, or carbon hardness in salt water, this is a colorimetric test. Titration, you can get tighter on, but you're definitely going to be able to make decisions here as to what you need to do. As far as pH, ammonia, nitrite, nitrate, and phosphate, you're going to do much better with the Aquaspin than you are colorimetrically with any of the liquid kits or units out there today. So the Aquaspin itself, when you talk about the retail page, this is what the retailer would see, and they could punch in the consumers, if they have an account on Aquaspin Advise, they punch in their email, hit find tanks, and all the tanks they've listed will come up and they can just punch the tank. If they're not a registered account, they certainly can enter their email account and select the type of tank they have. Tropical community, reef tank, salt fish only, like a Fowler tank, a pond, water garden, or koi pond, etc. And it'll register what that one is. So the independent store can either A, punch in the account if they have already gone on Aquaspin Advise and set it up, or B, just register as a new customer. Once they do that and they hit find tanks, they'll be able to see those tanks that are listed, whatever you would list. And then you would hit run test, and you would select fresh or saltwater disc, or what this number would be. And then the disc itself. So to give you a reference size, if you see my face, that's the size of the disc. It's a clear disc, and there's a little fill hole there that we fill with a 3mm syringe. Now, understanding that our glass test tube, the API test tube, takes 5 mils of water to do one test. I can do all the tests in salt water: pH, ammonia, nitrite, nitrate, phosphate, KH, calcium, magnesium, with 3 mils of water. The disc itself is filled with water, and around the disc itself is different chemistry. The ammonia test is a salicylate-based test, just like every ammonia test kit on the market today, in the fact that it runs off the same standard methods. The chemistry itself for each disc is unique. The disc also has a blank spot. That blank spot fills with tank water, and if you have a tint to your water, or you have a pond that's green pea soup, the computer in the Aquaspin counters against that so that you can read the proper color in the computer. We don't do that today with liquid kits. You don't have an auto blanking countering for any tints in the water. The Aquaspin does that. So in that way, it's even more accurate than what we're doing with anything coming to titration or colorimetric comparison with color charts. Also in the disc itself, I don't know if you can hear it right now, those are ball bearings. So once it spins the water around the disc, inside the disc are ball bearings. So there's a magnetic discharge in the Aquaspin that actually drives those ball bearings up and down to mix the chemicals. That's like you shaking the test tube. That was a key game changer to be able to bring this into the 2-minute time frame. Without that, we'd have to wait for chemistry to dissolve. And then today we have 6 photometers registered in the Aquaspin. We started with 3, then went to 4. Today there's 6. So as this thing spins, it's read over and over and over during that 2-minute period. So each cell is read over 1,000 times, 2,000 times in a 2-minute period, picking up that color, the change, the change, the change. And then at 2 minutes, it's finished and everything's logged. So an awful lot's gone into this. And you can see, if you look on the far right, that's a disc that was run. And you kind of see, yeah, they're kind of similar to the colors you're used to seeing, but they're much fainter and the computer can pick them up. Once after that 2-minute time frame is done, all the parameters are then put into a display that gives you what your levels were. And it tells you if things are in check or out of check. It tells you, what's your calcium level, what's your magnesium level, what's your pH, ammonia, nitrate, etc. And if something's out of spec, it'll tell you pH is low. And if you click on the view full recommendations, you will have all kinds of information about carbonate hardness. So depending on what you're looking at, if you need to make a correction or something, you can always hit view full recommendations, and it gives you all the historical needs you'll have. If it's ammonia, it'll talk about why ammonia is toxic and how enhancing your bacteria, cleaning up your bed. Obviously, KH talks about carbon hardness with corals, as well as buffering pH. So the Aquaspin advised this information. This is a longer sheet that is emailed to each and every customer. So they can see it in store and get immediate results. They can go home, see it again. And then sent to the home, it would say, hello, whatever the customer's name is. Thank you for testing. In this case, this is a freshwater, but thank you for testing whatever type aquarium you have, African cichlid, freshwater, reef aquarium at, and in that case, it would have the store's name. So the store gets a personal email sent from them directly to the customer. So again, it's another touch point. It also provides recommendations and points to the consumer, to the hobbyist, how to correct their aquarium. So as we look at this and we say, okay, that's great. What else can I do with it? Well, the nice part about it is you have the history. I do believe in my heart of hearts that the biggest problem in people not taking care of their, or having problems in their aquarium, is freshwater especially, has more to do with KH than it does anything else, which causes instability. And we don't look enough at it. Also, because it can do it in 2 minutes, any single pet shop, any single specialty store can now satisfy their customers' needs in 2 minutes, get the answers they need to make corrections or make suggestions for corrections, and satisfy that hobbyist. And if we can keep hobbyists, again, with the right information, successful, they're going to stay in the hobby. So as we look at this, this was done to make testing in-store easier, providing the answers to the hobbyist, making sure that what they need is what they get. So that's it in a nutshell. Now this is the machine, and if I were to fill a disc, this is just tap water, but all I did was fill a syringe, Hard to show this on on Zoom. I was going to say Skype, but it's the very disc you just saw, and syringe goes in a little hole, and all I'm going to do is I'm just filling it with 3 mils of water. And now I have my sample. Goes in the machine, and I'll see if I can do this without screwing it up too bad. On top of, again, disc in the machine, then it gets a black cover. And the black cover has a series of holes in it, so the meter knows what it's reading and where. Close it. And then I would go to, okay, we're going to see if I can do this. And Zoom is not letting me take control of what I want to do. So I'll do it a different way. So on the machine, I have selecting a disc, in this case, fresh water. And then I just hit tap. And you can hear it spinning, and the disc is now spinning and running. So it is that simple to do a test. And in 2 minutes time, you'll be able to see the screen for a freshwater test. So it's really that simple. So what questions do you have for me? Questions, comments?
Hey guys, we'll go ahead and open it up for questions. Nettie, you got your hand raised. Let's go. Is that Cody? There you go, Cody.
Yeah, this is my wife's computer. I'm technologically I'm challenged.
Join the crowd.
But I got a question. So standard deviation, my limited understanding, so you have an average and then the deviation is how far away the number is. So I guess what is, in regards to alkalinity, what is a standard deviation of 4.4? Is that if your alkalinity, say, is at 8, could it be 4 above or 4 below DKH, or is that
So
a
if you look
smaller
at
number?
alkalinity,
Is what I'm asking.
the range of standard deviation. So if you look at alkalinity, the range was 10. So a 3.4 standard deviation gave you a range of 10. So half a degree.
Okay.
In this particular one, 13, so still half a degree. So little, almost half a degree.
So not much.
Not much at all in that respect. Now, if you're looking at, again, carbon hardness, alkalinity, calcium or magnesium, understand that you will have greater accuracy, less deviation from titration testing than you will this, which is colorimetric testing.
Okay.
So the difference is that if I do a magnesium test, it's going to take me a while. And by the way, this is what, and really can't see it very well with my screen, but you can see the limits there on the test itself. So while we were talking, it's done. But yeah, in reference to titration, general hardness in freshwater, alkalinity, carbon hardness, which we classify as the same. Technically, they're different, but they're pretty damn close. For saltwater, calcium, magnesium, fresh saltwater only testing. Those are all titration tests. We've devised a way to do it colorimetrically, and it's tight. It's very tight, but it's going to be more accurate with your titration testing, but you're going to it takes me 20, 30 minutes doing magnesium. You know, in 2 minutes time, I can't even get my test kits out of the boxes. And here I can get all these tests done in 2 minutes. So the speed is where it's at. And remember, it was designed for in-store testing for retailers. And about a year and a half ago, I took this down to the older machine before the rubber handles, down to a reef club in Baltimore, which is just south of here. And I know plant aquariums and reef hobbyists and those into their ponds, they want this thing. We know that, but we have to crawl before we run. So right now we've opened it up to the stores for in-store testing. And we're not opening it up to hobbyists right now for just trying to keep control of the, getting it out there and things at that point.
Thank
But
you.
it's absolutely fabulous piece.
Yeah, we have a.
Were you in the middle of asking a question there, Cody?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say that there is a local store in our area that a lot of our club members frequent. It's Amazing Aquarium and Reefs. Greg can probably give you, or Ben can give you his info. I'm sure he'd be interested in this. I'd love to try it out, bring my water to him and see how it works, but I appreciate it.
Yep. So, yeah, I mean, the website, apifishcare.com, certainly is our website, and Aquaspin advises there. And if you want more information of any kind or information of anything, just, please hit us there and hit the contact. And, if it's obviously retailer or wholesaler or hobbyist, whatever the case may be, on any of our bottles, we have a 1-800 number. And tech service people are absolutely phenomenal. In count most of the calls. Both of them are degreed in degreed in animal sciences. Amy's worked retail stores. Callie is not, but Callie's a phenomenal hobbyist, president of Bucks County Aquarium Society. So we're all fish nerds through and through. It's we take that terminology in a good thing. I have to tell you a funny story. A number of years back, I was at a major customer back in the day of Aquarium Pharmaceuticals, the original name of the company before we changed over to Mars Fish Care. And we're in this major customer, and we're with the president of the company and some board people. And they're introducing the salesman, the owner of the company's there. And the owner of the company looks at me and he goes, "And this is Gary. And Gary's our resident fish nerd." Well, the owner of this company got all upset on my behalf, like it was an insult. And well, you can't say. And he goes, "No, you don't understand. He's okay with that. He's proud to be a fish nerd." So, yeah. And my wife, by the way, calls these clubs Fish Nerds of America. So I get it through and through. And I'm a person with a spouse that lets me play with fish. How's that?
That's basically all of us except for, I think, maybe Kathy Palina that's on here, but for the most part, we're all in the same boat. So,
yeah, well, I used to build aquariums for a living, and the longest aquarium I ever built was 40 feet. The tallest I ever built was 9'6". So most of my aquariums were 12 to 14 foot range. And when I met my wife, the only rule I had is she had to learn to dive. But we've gone to some interesting places to install aquariums. So she's benefited from diving, from working with the fish and things like that. But getting her to feed a fish tank when I'm traveling is a little much. I call her up, "Did you feed the fish?" "Oh, I forgot." "Okay, I'll do it."
that's why I have Greg come over to my house, because my wife and they'll forget. "Oh, I don't
Okay,
know."
well, Greg, if you can come to my house when I travel, I'll appreciate it.
It's called an auto feeder.
So, but yeah, so this is what we've thrown together, guys, and I've displayed this nowhere. You're the first to see it, and I hope I did it justice. Hope I did you justice. We have
Absolutely, and we
a lot of
appreciate
marketing
that.
materials and full manuals that go with it, and then a little, just like anything else, quick reference guides that just tell how to do it, quick to do. But it is so easy. It is so easy. And before we started, people asked if I have one over the university, and the answer is no. Because once I turn a student onto the Aquaspin, they don't want to go back to any other way of testing. And I need them to learn what testing is, what standard deviation is. They have to learn how to make standards. They have to learn, expiration dates and proper holding of equipment, whether it's titration or whether it's a dropper tip or whatever the case may be. So I'm very cautious not to make people use this the first time. But it's been fun. It's been a long ride to get here, and quite excited to have both freshwater and saltwater. About a year and a half ago, we didn't have magnesium on the spin disc. And our beta stores told us, in order for you to really put it out, don't put it out till you can do magnesium. We didn't know scientifically if we could do magnesium in the way we're doing it today. So there's a lot of first here. Remember to have the single bottle GH or single bottle KH, single bottle nitrate kit. They came out of the Chalfant labs. They didn't exist before that. And it's hobbyist or I don't want to say people that don't know, but people that aren't into doing all the details. Why can't we have a single bottle kit? Well, that's chemistry. No. So the challenges are there. You guys, when we look at consumer insights and we go out, it's the challenges that gives us hope. It's the challenges that drive us. So I want to thank Fish Factory, Reef to Rift, Absolutely Fish, PV Pets for challenging us, for driving us to say, we would have released this a year ago and it wouldn't have had magnesium and it wouldn't be in that strong a test. So please keep pushing, keep driving, keep asking for those things, because it really is that type stuff that drives us. So.
Excellent. Ben Coleman, you have a question? Ben?
We go.
There?
Now I'm unmuted. Hey, so, okay, here's my question. What is the average price point that your beta stores are testing at right now? So,
Right.
in other words, yeah, so you get the idea.
I mean, what are they charging per test?
Yes.
So different stores handle it differently. Fish Factory, I think they're charging $5.99 for the test, and they turn around and give the receipt back to the consumer, the hobbyist, and tell them if you spend it in the store in the next 3 days, it's a credit. For his good customers, he's not charging, to be honest. For everybody else, I think he is. I'm not sure on that, and that's up to him. So it jumps around. I know that one of the stores is $1 per parameter, and that's what they were charging before this. Now, do they charge everybody? No, but I'd say on average about $4 to $5 per test is what most of the stores are now. And the thing is, if part of the problem for the independent stores is that people go in and test their water, get the answer, and then go buy elsewhere. So one of the things that they've looked at is to say, hey, we're willing to provide a service, but how do we make it worthwhile? So it really is all over the place. And that's really up to the store.
I still think even at $5, that's a deal and a half, because just buying the test kits themselves, you could be hundreds of dollars in. I think it's
but
well
if you
worth.
buy a test kit, you can do 800 tests with our master liquid test kit.
Yeah.
So,
well, even still.
On a per test basis, most people's tests expire before they use them all. And we put expiration dates and retailers hated us for it. For years, we didn't put expiration dates on our liquids because retailers balked and screamed and yelled, and eventually we said, no, it's not right. So every one of our test kits now has an expiration date. Now, pH probably doesn't need one, but ammonia, GH, KH, those expiration dates are real. You hit those expiration dates and shortly thereafter, they start to drop off. Now the test kits can freeze, they can hit high temperatures and all that, and we do all that. We have a stability chamber we call it accelerated stability, that every one of our products goes through. We have a freezer, we have an oven, we have the accelerated stability chambers, 40 degrees Celsius, 75% humidity. 6 weeks in there is equivalent to 1 year on shelf. And then of course, for every batch of every product we make, whether it's stress coat or quick start or calcium or anything, including test kits, we have a retention sample of every single batch. It's a big room. So we know our expiration dates, but test kits, those expiration dates are real. So if you have test kits, ours or anybody's, look at the expiration date. And if you're past that, you're playing with yourself, because you're going to get inaccurate answers, and the cost of a test kit is so much less than one nice piece of euphilia. So, you know, the corals and fish are worth a lot more than a single test kit. But yeah, you're right. I mean, some hobbyists don't want to fork up the money for a master test kit. And once they get their tanks established, they don't need to test as often. I give you that. But routine testing tells us if we have a problem. Routine testing tells me if my KH is dropping, my pH is going to follow shortly thereafter. And remember, when we look at KH, we think of it for coral growth. But it's that carbon source, that carbon hardness is important for the bacteria to grow. This is why I don't get so upset about trace amounts of phosphates. Every animal in your reef tank needs phosphates. Your bacteria need carbon, phosphate, and nitrogen to grow. I see 0 levels of phosphate. I see detrimental growth. I hit a little bit of phosphate in the tank, I can see tremendous growth. I think the 0 phosphate is a mistake. Now, I don't want to see phosphates at, 2 parts per million. No, I don't want to see phosphates at, 1.5 parts. No, but trace amount of phosphates are not a problem. So, but routine testing helps us tell that. And that's my opinion, guys. I don't have science to back that up. I've tried it. Now, for bacteria and for plants and things like that, yeah, carbon is essential. So, and for phosphates, if I have a tank or you have somebody with an aquarium they set up, and let's say they start the cycle, the ammonia goes quick and nitrite stalls. They just can't get past that nitrite. Put a little phosphoric acid in that tank and you'll see the nitrobacter bacteria. You'll see the nitrifying bacteria surge and you'll see that nitrites disappear. And it's because of lack of phosphate. All the nitrogen can be there, all the trace elements can be there, but you lack phosphate and you're going to stall out a nitrogen cycle. And I did my master's thesis on closed nitrification in biological systems. And one of the key components coming out of that was showing that lack of phosphate stalls that cycle. So anyway, I'm on my soapbox, guys. I got to stop. I'll keep going all night. And so.
No, sir. You keep on talking. We'll keep on listening.
Yeah, that's a problem for you, not me.
Hey, Kat, you have a question?
Hi there. Hey, Gary. Thank you so much for the presentation. I was talking to Dan Denner and I saw, how the whole thing was working. I saw the results as the computer generated it live on the screen. So after that, I went to Absolutely Fish and Glenn showed the machine to me. So I'm just so super excited for phase 2 when this is available for the hobbyists. So that was my first point. My second point was, I don't know if you saw the Reef Builders article that came out about this machine.
I did, yes.
Questions in there about, are they using the API reagents? Because, in the hobby, that's your first go-to for testing. And then you move on to other test kits. So there may be a little, are they using the API reagents? I'm not so sure about that, maybe you could address to the hobbyists. I don't know what the answer is. Dan didn't either, but I figure if Lamont is making it, then the reagents could possibly be theirs.
Okay, let me answer that. So we shared all our formulas with Lamont. Again, we've had a close working relationship with Lamont. I've had a close working relationship with Lamont for 30 years. So Dr. Lydia, Carolyn, I mean, there's so many people down there that I've worked with and still work with extensively. So The methodologies are standard methods. I don't want to, they're all modified. We have freeze drying involved. We have lyophilized beads. We have all kinds of special things in here so that we can get a 2-year shelf life. Is it the exact same chemistry? No, of course not, because our chemistry is a liquid. This is a dry. Our salicylate methods are liquids. Salicylate is the method for the ammonia here. So the chemistry is chemistry. And Dr. John Ulrich, who works in our lab, organic chemist, head of chemistry at Rosemont, has worked with this. He's the one that did the charts for the standard deviations and things of that sort that I showed you. So I'm not going to say, well, obviously it's proprietary as to what all the chemistry is throughout the disc and how the disc is developed. The discs are put together by robots. So again, human error is taken out. There's another eye in there to measure every one to make sure that the right things are in the right cells before it's sealed and so on and so forth. So yes, the chemistry is similar to API. Yes, some of our methodologies are in this disc, such as, salicylate, bromothymol blue method for pH, or the wide range creosoles or whatever. So I don't know how to answer that without divulging certain proprietary information.
I understand.
But believe me, it's gone through years of testing. I've been working with this for several years now. And it's funny because the very first machine was a big black triangle shaped machine. Still spin, it didn't have as many photometric eyes. So now we're up to 6. And inside here, by the way, this is the disc I just ran. You really can't see the colors very well, but you can see inside where it's red as well. Everyone is sealed. It can't be, we can't soak this in the fish tank, but we can spill into it. But if we do, we do want to dry it up right away. So a lot's going into there. And yes, some of the chemistry is very similar to the API kit. Some are not. The calcium, magnesium, and carbonate is unique in the fact that it's a colorimetric test, not a titration method.
Awesome, thank you.
And for those that haven't been to Absolutely Fish, and now that you're going virtual, I strongly advise you to see if you can get Absolutely Fish as one of your speakers. Because if you're virtual, it's easy for someone to be on board. And Patrick Dotson, the owner of Absolutely Fish, is phenomenal. He's a phenomenal speaker, phenomenal guy. I have great respect for him. He has an aquaculture facility. He has his own grow out cycle. He does his own clownfish, some frags and things of that sort. And phenomenal speaker to put on your list.
Thank you. So you'd mentioned a 2-year expiration on the disc. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
That's pretty awesome. Somebody had posted a question on this chat about recycling the plastic. Is there a program for that?
Not at this time. Not at this time. That is something we're looking at. Each individual disc is individually foiled and marked. As you open the disc, there's a moisture desiccant with the disc. And that's important to keep the chemistry correct, and then to have all that into one disc. So it can be put into our regular trash stream without a problem, but I do not have a recycle program for it.
Okay, that's all the questions I had. Thank you so much. I do have an email that I sent to Dan. I wanted to send it to you if I could get your email later. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, contact Dan and we'll be able to get, or you guys can contact me through the website as well. And your board knows how to get a hold of me as well. So if I can do anything, I want you to bother Greg a whole lot and really irritate him with phone calls and questions and whatever, and he can send things to me. So, no, seriously, thank you guys for inviting me. It was a pleasure to be here. I hope I met your needs and shared something with you, which is brand new. And first time publicly, we talked about it. So there's no script. I just talked.
Hey
We have
Gary,
time, we
so,
have time for one more question.
do you have
Sure,
a hard
absolutely. Go
stop?
ahead.
Because we've got folks with tons of questions.
Oh,
If
well,
you're willing,
that's totally fine. I can't see the question, so please go ahead.
I got you. Okay, so next up is Sabina Reefing here.
I'll go while he finds his unmute. So, can you hear me all right?
Yep, go ahead.
So, do you have like a store finder where I can click and put in my zip code and find out who has this test I can do? I mean, currently, if I have a tank crash, I'm desperately mailing something to Germany and waiting 3 weeks to find out why everything's dead. It'd be great to have something like this I can, go find right away.
So there is a store finder on the website today, but not for the Aquaspin. One of our people, Gwen Miller, is currently working on that, and it will be on there shortly. I don't know exactly when, but we are going to have that on there. So when you go to the store finder, it'll list the stores, and then it'll give a little mark as to those that have the Aquaspin and those that don't. Remember, it's brand new to the retail market. It's been out about, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 weeks. I don't know that we've been promoting it. So we were going to do it earlier, but obviously, like everything else in the world, COVID messed us up as well. So we've stayed open. We switched over to making sanitizer for a while, and we contacted our local congressman. So the Mars family said, make it, ship it, and give it away all for free. So we did hundreds and hundreds of gallons of sanitizer alongside everything else. But yeah, there will be a finder on the website, and it will be up very shortly, is what I'm told.
And one other question, you mentioned about how there's on several of the tests, I think KH was one of them, that once you hit that expiration, your quality is really degrading. Is that just for the colorimetric type, or is that also hold true for titration type tests?
Titration's even more important for that expiration dating. If you have a test kit without an expiration date, get away from it. Get a test kit with an expiration date on it. Calcium, carbon hardness, I mean, those chemistries are sensitive. And remember, even though they're in the bottle and you seal it tight, those bottles breathe, whether it's PET or HPD or whatever. Now, some bottles breathe differently than others. When we first made Melafix in the lab and put it in accelerated stability, we put it in an HPD bottle. That's a type of plastic. The botanical oils, the active oils went right through the plastic in a matter of 60 days. You can't feel it, you can't smell it, you can't see it, you can test for it. All plastics breathe. And glass bottles might be more secure, but if it's in a plastic bottle, it's breathing and the chemistry is changing. Now, yes, low range pH. I had a kit one time that was 20 years old and still read true. High range pH, not so much. Ammonia, nitrite, nitrate, GH, KH, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, those things, the chemistry in them degrades over time. So the expiration dates are real.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks. Okay, let's come back to Sabina Reefing.
Hello, Gary. Can you hear me this time?
I can.
Okay. I had two quick questions. One, I was hoping I might be able to record this to put it on YouTube, and I didn't ask you, so I was asking you if that's okay.
That's fine. Go for it. Yep.
And then two,
I have no idea what I said, but hopefully it was okay.
that's okay. We'll take out the curse words and all the bad stuff. I'm just kidding. I'm really excited about this. And have you guys go any way to mail this stuff in too? Because mail in water samples?
It wouldn't be hard for us to do, but the problem is anytime you mail a water sample, it degrades. I mean, this is the problem I'm having with people mailing samples in. Mail 3 samples somewhere and have the person test it. You're going to get variations. And it's because it's a living water, meaning there's bacteria in it. So depending on the amount of organics or what's in the water, you're getting degradation. So chemistry varies quite a bit in sampling of water from mail. Now, when I do, if we're going to draw blood out of fish, we're going to use heparinized needles and we can stabilize that blood, put it in the freezer and so on and so forth. And we do it pretty quick. If you're going to do water, there's ways to preserve it, but they're not doing that. People are just taking water, putting it in a container, sealing it, and think they're mailing it off. Your pH is going to adjust. Your ammonia can build or degrade based on the bacteria. So I have a real issue with mailing water samples as a biologist, not, you know, and I could let Dr. John Ulrich, our organic chemist with us, answer that better. But we've had numerous people say, I sent samples into this one and their analyses are wrong because I got 3 different answers from the same water sample. And I'm like, it may not be their analysis, but the degradation of the water in the bottles you sent. Look, we have HPLC, we have high pressure liquid chromatography, we have gas chromatography, we have several spectrophotometers, $70,000 each pieces of equipment in our laboratory. And they're obviously they're only as good as the methods you use, but they're only as good as the sample you're getting. So I'm not real, obviously, again, you're hearing me, I'm not real big on mailing samples of water. So no, I don't have that set up.
Thank you for the advice. Thank you.
Okay, Greg, you have a question?
I do. So, Gary, when we're talking about the accuracy, we know it's consistent. We can see that. But where on that chart am I going to find the actual accuracy? So,
accuracy varies depending on levels and other parameters. Let me give an example.
Mm-hmm.
You're testing water for nitrate with very, very low alkalinity, your accuracy goes down. If you're testing nitrate, this is any test. If you're testing accuracy of nitrate at proper levels of alkalinity, you're going to be a lot more accurate. As far as
like what?
No, let me finish.
Plus or minus. Okay.
Okay. As far as pH, ammonia, nitrate, phosphate, you're going to be a lot more accurate with this than you are a liquid kit or a dip strip or most anything else. And with KH, calcium, magnesium, GH, you're going to be more accurate, more precise with titration. And I'll give an example. So if I look at, and I don't want to, if I look at magnesium kits, you may have an accuracy of 20 or about 20 plus or minus. With this, and I look at magnesium, I may have an accuracy of 10%, depending on the number. So say it's 1,000, your accuracy could be 60. Say it's, you know, and it does vary. So if we look at color charts as an example, and you say, what's the accuracy of the kit? The accuracy here is limited to the charts. Because this is actually measuring in greater precision, not accuracy, precision, you get finer points so you can have tighter accuracy. It's not a precise, simple number to give. If I look at ammonia and I'm going to have different accuracy from 0 to 1 than I am from 1 to 2, than I am from 2 to 4. As you go up, your accuracy is going to slide. Above greater than 2 parts per million on ammonia, my accuracy is going to be within 0.4. Below that, I'm going to be a lot more accurate. So you can see how for nitrate, I get above 100, my accuracy is going to slide quite a bit, almost 20%. I get below 100 parts per million or milligrams per liter, I'm going to be a lot more accurate. So it really, there's a lot of variables to that answer. And
so for me, you know, being an SPS keeper, you know, the big 3, are really the most important. And if magnesium could be as far as 10% off at the magnesium levels that I would want to keep it at, that's a big
If you want something really, really accurate, stay with titration.
Okay.
No question. I mean, titration is going to be more accurate than this. It may take you 30 minutes, 40 minutes to do your test. This will take you 2 minutes. So this will give you the right range to know whether you have to add more or not for the average person. If you want absolutely precision accuracy, stay with titration.
Now, the other thing I wanted to ask you about was the phosphate testing. I noticed it only goes down to 0.1, I believe.
No, it'll read lower. You'll get lower numbers, but it's noise, and that's of any kit. So I often challenge my students that want to get these ridiculous like 0.03, 0.0 something in phosphate, and I have them make standards and then run whatever test they want. And the type of tests that we work with in the industry just aren't going to do it.
Okay.
I mean, you're going to get an answer, and you're going to get consistency of answer. But when you're down at really ultra low phosphate levels, run your standards and you'll find out how inaccurate the kits on the marketplace or the meters on the marketplace today are. And that's just a matter of the beast. You know, you can spend more and more money and buy yourself a portable spectrophotometer for a few $1,000s. But yeah, it just isn't possible with chemistry.
Gotcha.
So, and there are ways to do it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, some of our equipment in the lab can do it, but I'm not pulling. Just imagine going to my wife, hey, do you mind if I spend $30,000 and buy this machine for the house? I don't think she'd go along with it.
Right.
Although my old professor, when he retired, bought 2 microscopes for his retirement gift and spent 70 grand on his 2 microscopes. You don't think I'm jealous? So, well, and I have 3 microscopes here at the house that are personal scopes. And yeah, there's more. I have more coin in than I do my car sitting out in the driveway. So yeah, we do have our preferences, but I use it for education. I use it for myself. I get to play. And I'm sorry to say that I had 2 scopes I gave away last year. They're out in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania today, being used in a club and for the beekeepers. So the fish club and the beekeepers share a microscope. So my advice for you guys is line up with your local high school or college chemistry professors and biology professors and find out who your fish geeks are, and you'll get some nice equipment that way too. But if you're looking for extreme accuracy on KH, calcium, and magnesium, stay with your titration. I just can't get around that. I'm being honest with you. This will do it in 2 minutes. It'll certainly give you the right answer to make a judgment call for the tank. But if you're looking for the absolute accurate answer, the most accurate and more precision, stay with titration. And I don't care if it's Red Sea or Sarah or Salifert or API, titration is going to be a tighter number.
Got it. Well, thank you. It looks like you got a couple more questions coming.
Let's go. Mark, you've got a question.
Yeah, it's a little bit off, but I'm asking you because you sound like you probably can answer it for me. I'm asking about accuracy rather than precision on salinity. So we have basically 3 tests that we'll use. We'll use a hydrometer, specific gravity. We'll use refractometer or conductivity, none of which actually measure salt levels, but they give a prediction basically based on the readings they get. I'm pretty sure that the refractometer is the most precise, but which one's the most accurate?
Okay, so when it comes to measuring salinity, obviously we have lots of salts. We have sodium, chloride, magnesium, calcium, sulfate, et cetera. They're all salts. So it's a combination of what's in our water that we talk about salinity. It's hard to answer that question without looking at each individual piece of equipment. I like refractometers. I just like them. They can't read ultra low levels. For the reef tanks or for the fish tanks, well, obviously most of you guys are probably 32 to 35 parts per thousand. And in those ranges, it depends on the manufacturer's ability to keep that refractometer. Obviously, if it's temperature compensated or not, so on and so forth. So it's not an answerable question. Obviously, the floating arms are a problem. Conductivity, I'd throw out the window. I'd stay with a refractometer because so many things can affect conductivity besides salts. And that's part of the problem. And in this particular case for the Aquaspin, we looked at salts. So we know most tanks are 32 to 35 parts per thousand. This will be accurate as low as 25 or as high as 50. And you think, when's a tank going to get to 50 parts per thousand? Well, we've had occasions where customers have evaporation of water and keep adding salt water back in instead of DI or RO water.
Right.
You know, we have occasions where their automatic float gets stuck. And next thing you know, they don't realize it. So we've done the range here for the saltwater disc between 25 and 50 parts per thousand, really, really wide.
So one of my concerns is that my understanding is when you dissolve magnesium, it has a much higher refractive index than sodium chloride. So
Correct.
if you have very high magnesium, it's gonna basically count as much more than a little bit of salt.
Because it is more salt.
It is a salt, right? So
Yeah.
Okay. So here, is that a distinction without a difference? Meaning, do our organisms care if specifically like the fish? Do they care if it's magnesium or if it's sodium chloride or magnesium chloride? Do they care?
I can't answer that with science.
Okay.
I will say that I have saltwater fish farms going to ungodly levels of salinity, crazy levels of salinity. I have wholesalers taking their saltwater fish to ridiculously low levels of salinity, thinking they're helping controlling parasites. So do the organisms care? I use two words. One is survive and one is thrive. I don't want my fish to survive. I want them to thrive. And I do believe keeping them in the right levels at the right balance of those levels, meaning the right percentage of salts, is important. But I don't have any science. I haven't done any work to tell you which ones are right or wrong or what animals are in what. So I can't answer your question myself.
That is a great answer. I love that answer.
Thanks, Gary. Cody, did you change your mind about your question?
Cody, if you want to know if I'm good looking, of course
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
No, I did have a question. I guess it's in regards to it seems based on your presentation that this is more geared towards stores. Just I think based on the price that I see in chat, I don't know if you mentioned that in the video. You don't have to if you don't want. But I guess my question is more as production ramps up, is there any plan for the device to possibly cost less, just the device itself and the discs or the reagents, just so because I think at the price that I'm seeing, a couple of times a month I can see, but I think the initial cost might prevent hobbyists themselves from getting this. The test price themselves, I don't think is a huge issue, but I just feel like maybe the initial cost, I mean, there are going to be those of us, probably most of the 31 people that are on here would probably spend the amount of money to get something like this. But I think in general, I don't see that many. So I guess my question is one that you probably maybe can't answer, but I guess would it be ever a time where you would try to maybe minimize this device maybe to make it a little bit more entry level so that a majority of people could get it without, spending their life savings, I guess is what I mean.
I understand your question. I can't answer it because I don't know that answer.
Sure.
I don't want to say, I'll never say never because anything's possible. There's a lot that goes into it. Obviously, all the support material, all the computer upgrades, everything, all that's included for life,
Mm-hmm.
which is one of the things that is involved in this test over anything else. So,
No, I do realize there's a lot of R&D. There's a lot of costs that people don't realize. When people go online, they complain like, why does this cost this much, or why does this cost that much? So I guess that's not really. I definitely know that a lot of research money goes into something like this, and it's great that a company actually would spend those types of resources to develop something like this, because it just, I think, helps the hobby as a whole.
One of the great things of working for Mars is that we're not a stock held company, we're a family held company. And a number of members of the family are really into fish, which makes it cool. So we get to play and do things may not generate profits. Certainly the coral reef restoration work, that's all benevolence of the family. So yeah, there's a lot of money in there, and yes, fish care has to stand on its own 2 feet, just like every other, you think of Pedigree or Whiskas or Caesars or Greenies or Dentabone or any of our companies. They all have to stand on their own 2 feet, but we get to do things like this and put into R&D and put into development. I have a fish room, which is unbelievable. And family members were in the fish room one time, number of years back, and they asked me a question, is this the best fish room it can be? And I said, well, it's a great fish room. I've had several key people in the industry here, and they've never seen a fish room in the industry like this. And I'm really proud of this fish room. And he looked at me and he goes, no, Gary, you're not answering my question. Is this the best fish room it can be? I said, it's a great fish room. No, shut up, we're Mars. Stop that. If you could do anything you want, would this be the fish room you have? Or is this the best? I said, no. He goes, why not? I said, well, I'm living to my budget. He said, you don't have a budget, you're Mars. You send me what the fish room, I sent him a description, a layout of what the new fish room would be. By the way, I destroyed the R&D office. I actually took it out and made that part of the fish room. And I sent it off to him. And in 1 hour, I got an email back with a dollar figure, and it was ridiculous. And at 1 hour, I got an email back. When can it get done? So if we're at Waltham and we're working on new ways to test cortisol, if we're here working with the fish room, if I'm doing things on the Aquaspin, because the family wants to do the best thing possible for pets and the best thing possible for the environment, we get to play. But I do have to get that back. We do have to be profitable. And with our profits, I get freedom to play like this. So yeah, there is R&D involved in this, but they're not trying to make it back overnight, believe me. So will it go down in price? Will it change for hobbyist pricing? I don't ever want to say never, but it is where it is today. So, and it is, the machine's $1,200. It is not a, it is not a toy. It's a real piece of equipment.
So let us help you with those profits. How do we get a hold of one for $1,200?
Well, right now, again, we're so the sales team is set up for the retail stores, and we want to make sure we keep our distribution and things like that intact. I don't want to get too many out. The last thing I want to do is, tell people, oh, I can't hit supply. But we want to make sure we can supply. And Sabina's pouring his wine, and I want some now, Okay, do you mind getting me a glass? Yes, thank you. Yeah. We're not geared up just for the hobbyist, so it is being worked on.
Gary, we do have a business license.
You can talk to the sales team and just contact them, and they'll be able to give you all the guidelines.
I forgot to tell you that I run a fish store.
Great. I used to sell tilapia and fillets of flounder now, right? Is that what you're doing? No,
That's right.
I don't know if you
feel
realize
free to,
when the
you know, hit
Tridents
that
came out, they were selling like hotcakes
apifishcare.com/contact
for a
and
grand.
anything in reference to this supply or pricing or things like that, they'll be able to get to you.
Awesome. Thank you. Sabina, did you
Okay.
still have a question or?
You're on mute.
He's shaking his head now.
Okay.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Will this be replayed so I can see the whole thing?
We
I am
will,
recording that, and I will be posting it to Sabina Reefing on YouTube, and I will also be posting it to Reef to Reef and Reef Central, and I will send a link to Greg Carroll if he wants to send it to you. I'm not sure who said that, but
Moondoggy 4.
who is it?
Moondoggy, Jim Carson.
Oh, okay. I think I might have your emails from the SCMAS things. I will send you a link. It'll take me about a day and a half.
Can we have like a 7-second, who is this guy? What does he do? I came in late, so I'm trying to catch up.
Yeah, no sweat. You know what? Just pay attention to the forums. I'm sure we'll be posting a link and people can watch this video. So just stay tuned and you'll see it online.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Well, guys, I thank you very much. And you guys pulled all this together. I'm just here rattling in what I love. So it makes it easy. So I think I'm going to take Sabina's direction now and go get a nice glass of dry red. But
Cheers.
Yeah, I know I speak on the behalf of everybody. Thank you so much, Gary, for your time. You know I certainly enjoyed the talk. I'm sure we all did. And you know, thanks
Sure.
again for taking time.
my pleasure. And as reefers and people that keep reefing, Mars, MARRS, coral restoration work. See some of the work we're doing. See what Mars stars are. It's a simple wrought iron device that we coat with epoxy and cover with crushed coral. And we literally zip tie frags to it. And all those Mars stars get tied together on the damaged reefs. And we've been able to reestablish reefs with the fish back for fishing in 18 to 24 months. It's just been years of work, but we really have it down. It's the cheapest way to restore a reef economically, sustainably, quickly. And that's all, again, through Mars Symbioscience and the work that Mars does for the environment. And it's kind of fun. So I've been up the Amazon for Mars sustainability. I've been to the Indo-Pacific for Mars sustainability. And no, you can't have my job. I get to talk fish and play fish all day. So I sell nothing, I make nothing, and I get paid for it. So it's working at API Fish Care, working for Mars is an absolute pleasure. So thank you guys, and keep on reefing.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you so much.
Bye now.
Bye.
Are we going to have one in the raffle?
All right, so it's raffle time, huh?
Yeah.
What are you putting in the raffle, Mark? Because, yeah, we didn't plan a raffle this time around. I think that is something we can definitely look into in future months, and a way to do it.
Okay, let's do a raffle. A master saltwater test kit and a master reef kit by APIs in the raffle.
Nice.
Uh-oh.
Pick a name, pick a number, do what you got to do.
Okay, Phil, figure out how to
Greg,
take
you
money
just
from
send me
us.
the name and the address and I'll mail it out.
Got it.
Very generous of you,
Do
Gary.
we have a copy of everybody who's here? So we can pick someone. We'll just pick a random number between 1 and 30, it looks like.
Well, we do have a recording of the meeting, so yeah.
So we'll do that. Okay, thank you, Gary. Thank you for donating that.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
We'll get back to you on the name so that we can get that out to them.
You want 2 names, one for each prize, is that right?
Oh, I don't, whatever way you want to do it. One name,
there
or
was
2 names, I don't care.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they both, and And both names cannot be Greg Carroll, just so you know.
Let's just tell you something.
Sabina
Our
Reefing.
meetings, huh?
I am not the luckiest person. That's Cody. We all know that.
You guys can't keep calling me that. I haven't won shit in years. I don't even know why I'm part of this club anymore. I mean, other than Gary's great information and hearing Greg talk, you know.
So yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it. Like I said, we'll get a list because there's a few people who have dropped off. I know we were at 33 for most of the meeting, and then it looks like 3 people dropped off. We'll figure out who those 3 were. We'll pick a winner, and
It's gonna be Kelly.
Kelly's another person who wins everything. But I don't think Kelly's on, so I think we're okay.
Okay, guys.
She didn't buy 500
she'll win it
tickets.
anyway.
She didn't win.
Take care, Gary.
Okay, thanks, Gary. Kelly will win it anyway.
Oh,
Don't worry
yeah.
about it.
yeah, now they got it in here.
I know. It's crazy.
All right.
Well, that was a good
Wait,
one.
hang on. Do we have any new members? And does anyone have any issues with their tank?
Oh yeah, raise your hand if you're a new member, and that means raise your hand on the, in
Then
the
you put the camera back on, Sean.
in the little thing. Raise your hand if this is your first
Yeah.
time at an SCMAS meeting.
I think you have to join with it.
I'm looking at one name that I know is new.
No, Cody,
Looking
stop
at
it.
2 names that I know are new.
I'm just practicing. I'm not used
Here
to
we
this.
go. Sabrina, you are not. Hugo. All right.
I'm new.
Let's hear from Hugo.
I'm gonna say good night. Thank you.
Night, Cat.
Take it easy, Cat.
Night, Cat.
Hugo, you're on mute. There we go.
There we go. What's up, guys?
What's happening?
There you go.
Oh,
All right.
hello,
This is your first meeting.
yes,
not,
sir.
Not our normal meeting, but this is your first meeting. So tell us about your tank.
Well, I've been in and out of the hobby for about 5 years, and this is my water box 100.3.
Nice.
It's actually the first tank where I've been successful with SPA, and by successful I mean I got a lot of encrusting going on. I've been able to keep things alive for over 4 months now. Not much growth as far as growing up, but a lot of encrusting.
So how did you hear about it?
I used to go to all the Reef-a-paloozas.
Okay.
And then I followed you, Greg. I'm Juice on Instagram.
Yep.
So I just picked up a Walt Disney from George and Liz from Coral Reefs Cove now, actually. So put it in the
Show off
tank.
the Walt Disney. Yeah. Show off the Walt Disney.
Well, I just put it in. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, let's see what's under the hood. We're gonna pry open your shit.
First, you can't really see it. Unfortunately, I can't zoom in. There you go. Zoom in. No. I can't zoom in.
Look like a natural light.
Unfortunately, I got a G3. I got a G3 radio, so unfortunately I can't control it. Put on natural light. Let me get my glasses.
Yeah, there we go.
It looks.
There we go.
The tank looks good, bud.
You can't. Yeah, you still can't see it.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. My only problem I've been having with the tank is recently I've been getting a lot of hydrodigitate, which I don't know if they bug anything, but it's kind of the only issue I've had.
They'll kill your tank. You got to take care of it.
Are they just on the glass or what?
They're all over the tank, all over the rock, especially the sump. I got the Trident over here, 2 DOS, MP40s, M2.
Mine have always been kind of eaten by
eats
snails.
eyelids?
Do you have any problems with them with snails in your tank? Do you have a cleanup crew?
I do. I actually have trochee snails, quite a bit of them, probably about 10 trochee snails. I have Nazareth snails, a lot of blue leg hermits, and the dwarf blue leg hermits. And that's about it. I read online that Halloween hermit crabs help with those hydroids, as well as peppermint shrimp. So I'm ordering some Halloween hermits and a couple of the Aura peppermint shrimp to make sure they're actual peppermint shrimp. I'm trying to see. Let me get the light on in the refugium.
Do peppermint shrimps even eat hydroids? You guys know?
I have no idea.
I haven't seen them ever eat hydroids. No.
No,
I just noticed, hey, with hydroids, I mean, typically when I've seen them online, like people post them, like you get the kinds that are on the glass. I mean, the rock looks real new, so maybe it's just like a phase that'll just kind of
that's also
you know.
That's also another thing that I've read too, that they're kind of like on a near tank, they'll be there and then they'll just go away with time. There's my little, I'm running a Triton method.
Nice.
So this is my refugium. I
Nicely
converted the auto top
Kato.
off. Yeah.
That's the first time I've
surprised.
actually seen someone with a running tank with tumbling Kato. Mine is a, beach ball size of non-tumbling Kato. That looks nice.
Yeah, I was very surprised that I just ran a little 3/4 PVC and I drilled some holes, some 1/4-inch holes on the side right there.
Pushing it
Very
Angled
cleanly
them.
plumbed.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's it.
Mine just turns into a square.
It took a long
if
time.
you change
but
it to a
was-
rectangle, you'll have a rectangle instead of a square.
Yeah, so it took a long time to tumble. It was actually just sitting down, and then once it grew, it just started tumbling. I was pretty surprised.
Very nice.
Hey, West Coast Reefer has got his hand up.
Yep.
Yeah, right on. Thanks, Hugo.
Yeah, thanks, Hugo,
appreciate
man.
you
Nice
joining.
talking, man.
Thank you for joining.
you.
Nice tank, bud.
No problem. No problem. Thank
Let's switch over to Rob here. Rob,
Where you at, Rob?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Is your camera on?
Okay. Yeah, it's on.
All
Thanks,
right.
right?
All right. What's happening, bud?
So, those that don't know me, I've been in the hobby about 4 years. Got 2 tanks right here. Hold on. Hold on, flip it. Okay, there you go.
There we go.
Oh, nice.
Nice. All right, so this is my Red Sea Reefer, 525. I really don't have any problems in it right now. The only problem I have is trying to frag like crazy. Everything is growing into each other, killing each other right now. So
Yeah, I got 300 gallons of space. You just let me know what you need to get rid of.
dude, Rob, where do you live? I'm on my way over right now.
No, Rob,
Don't we
send
all?
us a frag pack to our club meeting. I'm sure we can get a group buy and just send one box.
there you go.
I'm in.
So that's where. So this is the current system now. Pretty much SBS dominant.
Clean.
Trying to get some other views. I even have some stuff stuck in the back here.
Wherever it can
But-
get light.
Hey, my
Every
internet
nook and
slow.
cranny,
Can you
huh?
stop it?
Yeah.
Hold it still in a couple spots for me, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah, Mark's in an RV in the backyard, so he's having internet problems.
I
That
can't
was
see
the
it.
front yard, but yeah. Oh, that looks great.
All right. There's the front.
Dude, seriously, where are you? I'm on my way over.
I'm fucking right there.
So there you go.
Oh, that's not bad. I'll be there in about 2.5 hours.
Dude,
Yeah.
give me 40 minutes, dude.
Wait,
Did you start
Adam,
those
wait.
off the 1-inch frags or those semi-columns?
Yeah, everything started as frags.
What's
Wow.
that purple
Outstanding.
right down there just a little bit? Yeah, what's that?
This is Shipwreck Cold Speed. I think it's called a Devil's Palm or something.
That's nice. I need some of that.
Adam, wait till he does a 180 and shows you what's standing behind him.
Yeah.
Well, are you talking about the tank behind him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the tank, but it doesn't have the corals like this.
No, it doesn't have the corals, but it will.
Oh, it will.
That's the
It
whole
will.
point.
Don't get me wrong. It's amazing. This is sick. This is nice, dude. I can see you've been
So,
fragging some there.
So where specifically in San Diego?
Hey Rob, how long have you had that Achilles in your current display?
Probably about 8 months now, 8 to 10 months.
And you just pop and drop like Greg, or you quarantine it?
Yeah, I popped and dropped him. Yeah, everything in here has been popped and dropped.
Greg's a dirty pirate.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Everything in here has been pop and drop.
I'm just quoting my sensei Greg, pop and drop. That's what he said.
But
I spent the extra money for a fish collection to do all the quarantining for me, and I got burned bad. So I got news. I would pop and drop or quarantine myself again. I've been quarantining.
So these in here, these were quarantined.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been doing it myself because I'm just trying to. I don't want any losses.
Yeah, for sure.
Stop
So this is the new system.
How big is that?
This is a 300. This is 300. It's a 72 by 36 by 27.
Now, are you going to keep both of them running, or is one going to eventually migrate into the other?
Exactly. This one will be going down once I know that this one is stable and everything is thriving. So I'm gonna keep it up as long as I can, and then now tear down the other one, and that won't be going in the garage as a frag system.
Well, hey Rob, this is John. I'm in Oceanside, so I'm closest to you. So when you want to get rid of something, let me know.
All right.
Darn home court advantage.
Hey John, how's your tank doing? Is it starting up yet?
We're breaking you in, Rob. Just
breaking me in.
You're gonna have to sell it.
I have the 450. The aquascape is done. I'm going to start on the plumbing this next week, hopefully.
Gotcha.
All right, but I'm going to make it to his house first, and my tank's up and ready. So I'm going to steal as many corals as he'll allow me to take out the door.
Well, I have 600 gallons right now, so.
Yeah, John's got a lot of water and coral.
Yeah, he does.
He just got a new tank.
Yeah, so this one, it's kind of keeping the same as far as simplistic, not having too many. On this system here, it's just a skimmer. I got some reactors back there, but they're not really being used. I'll throw carbon air in every now and then, but just a skimmer. And this cabinet here, I have a Chaeto reactor that's not really doing nothing, and a calcium reactor. But that's it. Nothing really special.
That's the best. Keep it simple.
Yeah, and it's the same as this is going to be kind of the same thing, the new system.
Are you going to try for your calcium reactor? Are you going to try those new Versa pumps, or are you going to stick with that Kimura?
No, I'm sticking with the Kimura.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Kimura. I'll be honest with you. I'll probably use the Versa pumps just for dosing purposes or other things, but not for continuous dosing. I like the Kimura. It's pretty. I heard about too many other things about the Versa, so.
Okay.
And it's kind of messy down here, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good thing that.
All right, be right over.
Yeah.
You're not beating me there. He's going to save some corals for me, right? Right?
I'm drooling on my keyboard. I hope that's okay.
Then I got
That's not drool. Let's just be honest.
Oh, dear.
Still got a little bit of work over here, but that's about it.
Awesome, Rock. Thank you so much.
All right, no problem, Greg.
Sick tank. Nice tank.
Hey, who else wants to show their tank? Let's just do a tank tour right now.
No kidding, huh? All right, who else is up?
All right, I'm picking up the laptop. I'll show off my tank. It's new.
There we go.
Sorry, I was sitting outside.
There it is.
I'm holding up a laptop, so sorry about the camera.
Yeah.
Does this have a front-facing camera, honey?
There it is.
That's a 300.
Wow, Adam, that's looking great, man.
I don't have a lot of growth.
Wow.
And my camera does not like the blue, which is funny because I don't have that much blue, but it's sunset in my house.
Why, little rat?
Good little Duncan colony. All right, I'll be honest. The blue's way too much for the camera on this laptop.
You need a pair of Greg's.
Where's your filter?
Greg, I still have those.
I normally run my tank at 65K, so I don't usually need a filter.
You need to get the little filter and hold it over the camera. So that
I'm not a big fan of the blue tank. I usually run like a 65K tank, so I don't usually need it. But, you know, today I need it.
Let me tell you, if you're going to get in high dollar SPS, you're going to definitely want to make sure that you got blue light, because
that has
otherwise it looks mediocre.
That has reef wrapped flame clocks. That has Walt Disney. It's got a couple of nice SPS.
Yeah.
I do not like the blues.
I understand, but if you ever want to see those colors, sometimes that's what you got to do.
Yeah, I have I've got a Walt Disney that's going off, and it just looks like a Doug Tenius because I run halides, right? And that's what I pay. That's what I pay for the more natural look. You don't get the colors and the pops on things. That's an exchange I'm willing to make.
Well, if you weren't sleeping in a trailer, you could show us.
You know what? I go back in the house as soon as I get a negative COVID test, but I'm like super secret quarantined right now.
Oh, wow.
Oh, ha, ha, ha.
Oh, nice.
I think that's funny.
He's got the filter on his camera there. No, I wasn't giving you a hard time, Mark. I was, someone just put
it's the ice cap lens kit.
No, Cody, go back. I've got you spotlighted now. Go back.
Oh. Go back where?
To the
Go
tank.
back to the tank.
Tank.
Go back.
We don't want to see you.
No,
I know.
step to your left.
Oh, wow.
All right.
That's
Thank you.
good, man.
So I actually have 3 acros that are alive after a couple months. So I think
Is that because you fixed your RO unit?
Thing. You know, it's worth more than my car, and I can't keep sticks alive. But I got this.
It actually looks like your tank is a little dirty too.
Please.
Hey, Cody, show off your panel, your equipment board, man. That came out really nice.
Yeah, I did.
Zoom in. Let's see it. That is awesome, dude.
Well, I'm on a laptop, so it's just
Okay.
got the ATOs down there in the cabinet. In that one there's a bunch of madness. I got these new Radeons recently, so all the power supplies are up there, and it looks like crap, but I don't know what to do with them. But the Radeons are awesome.
You got the blue ones?
Yeah, I got 4 XR30 blues.
Show us your Trident.
The Trident is off. Echo, turn on sump lights.
That's that Trident you got for free, right?
I had to pay $600 for mine.
Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes you just have to know somebody, but I did.
Right.
I got full disclosure. I paid half price for it.
That's the Spite Trident.
But I didn't want to say when Gary was on, but I mean, this thing is like freaking awesome, rock solid. As long as you calibrate it and put, you know, you don't let the reagents, like if they go empty and you don't replace them. But it's been running for like a year. It's awesome. It really is.
Did you just clean your skimmer? That thing looks so clean.
Dude,
Some people actually keep theirs clean.
this is how it's looked for 2 years, brother.
Read more.
How often do you calibrate your Trident? Is that after every time your stuff goes empty, you have to recalibrate?
So no.
Every time you get a new batch.
After every kit. So like I buy the 6-month packs, so you get a month each one. So every 2 months you calibrate it once. After we changed it, so you used to have to calibrate it right when you change the reagents. Now they want you to run it maybe like 4 tests, 5 tests, and then calibrate it. I don't know why exactly. I was part of like the NS. I'm still in the NSI, but honestly, I just like to plug things in and hopefully they work. I'm not really good with advanced programming stuff, but it's really easy. I like it. But yeah, I mean, the tank's doing good. I just been basically just loading up on mushrooms and zoas. Like, kind of like, I don't know if you can see that.
Very nice.
But so like I just started with the bottom row. You know, I just been trading, you know, I haven't been spending a lot of money. I just like grow a few things. I got this super sick, can you see the trachea right there?
Oh yeah.
It's super sick in person.
Yeah,
That's
unfortunately, the colors aren't coming out the way.
Yeah.
That thing is insane.
I mean,
where'd you get that one from, Cody?
I got it. I stole it from Ray at Two Guys Corals. I went over there to trade him something, and then he's like, "Hey, I got all these trades, and this one was facing away from me, and I could see the yellow and red in the edge, but I couldn't see the face of it." And I was like, "How about that one?" He's like, "Yeah, whichever one you want." So I put it in the bag and got it home, and I'm like, yeah, score.
Well, I thought Two Guys Coral shut down.
He's in his garage, basically. But yeah, I mean, I need some sticks. I just got this, I don't know, blue tort or whatever. It's hard to see. A Mystery of Aquariums piece, and then there's a couple of slimers in the back. But I killed the corals Mark gave me. Mike gave me, but I think I'm ready for round 3.
We're gonna start calling you Phil from now on.
Oh no,
that's wrong.
Hey, man.
That is wrong.
Don't drop the computer.
Trying to get him to unmute himself. Come
But
on, Phil.
Scott's gonna give me some corals on Sunday, so I'm gonna have a pick of what's in his tank. So
there you go.
When you're not killing sticks and you're ready for it, I got some Walt Disney for you.
Phil's
I got some of Scott's the Pink Fury for you. I grew that thing out.
Nice. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. As soon as my stuff grows, I mean, I'm always down to, you know, hook people up or whatever, trade, you know. And I'm down to trade. I just, you know, I got mostly beginner corals to your guys' standards, so.
Oh, dude, I just got a glimpse of your painting on the wall.
Those are, I stole, they're pretty dope. I mean, I stole the idea, but
that's your dead coral art. That's what's awesome, dude.
I got those ones. I got those ones.
Dude, those are looking really sweet, Cody.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. And then I got this 20-gallon tank. And that's right there. I'm gonna plumb it into this side. Here. Oh, good night, honey. And
It's funny, my wife was just talking to my son.
I'm around here. It's 9 o'clock and my daughter's still awake.
Awesome.
Who's next?
All right. Anybody else want to show off? Filthy Phil ain't got a camera. So.
Anyone having any issues with their tank?
Yeah,
I do. I can't get rid of Aptasia. They're just, I've been putting those little nudibranchs in there 3 times. I've put hundreds of bucks into it. You're supposed to just sit there and wait till they, I don't know, have a little orgy and population explode, and it just hasn't worked out.
I got a copper band. A copper band butterfly took care of my problem.
So now I'm looking for one, and I like to pop and drop. I'd gotten one. A buddy of mine, somebody who's a board member that's not with us, bought one for me, and it died in his QT. So I prefer buying used fish. I will pay quite a bit more.
I have a way that worked that's probably, I've never seen it in a forum, and it was completely by accident. I had a salinity crash. Just screwed up my refractometer, wasn't paying attention. It's my tank at work, had some Aptasia in it. I got my salinity down to about, instead of 25 parts per thousand, or excuse me, 35 parts per thousand, I was about 15 to 14. And my corals survived and the Aptasias died. Even my other big purple long tentacle anemone survived, but Adaptation died, brought the salinity back up. They didn't come back. Dumb accident. Have no clue how I ever did it.
And there's no Aptasia left. They're all gone.
They're all gone. I have no clue how I did it. It was an accident. The only thing I can attribute.
You brought them down to 15.
Don't do it.
Yeah,
Mark.
and over like
Don't do it, Mark.
months.
Don't do it.
That's pretty
Don't do
scary.
it.
Don't do it.
It's an accident.
Right.
It worked. It's the tank that I don't pay attention to at work because I travel.
You might as well take out your rocks and boil them. Don't do it.
The only corals I have in my tank are Xenia and GSP and mushrooms. So let's just be clear. I don't think this will work with most corals.
Right.
I do not think it will work with most corals.
Don't do it.
I've got a pretty decent sized rainbow blossom that is probably worth more than the tank.
Yeah. Hey Mark, just go to your LFS, go pick up a copper band butterfly that's eating mysis, and then it'll take care of your problem for you.
Just do that.
Or
I even put one of those. I put one of the filefish in there, and it's really a cool fish. Has no interest in Aptasia.
Oh wow.
They love soft corals.
Mark, you know, I'm looking for something that'll eat zoas. I got zoanthids everywhere.
Filefish eat those too.
He ain't ate those either.
He's spoiled.
My wife feeds them all day when I'm gone. They only eat pellets and mysis.
I got a big old fox face. They're known for eating them. That I'm looking to rehome in my 150.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Get a rabbit fish; it'll eat your zoas.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
okay. If I do that, then I need to give away the good ones. I got some rostas and crap, stuff like that are actually
When
worth
they're
something.
talking, the camera goes to them.
Give away first.
When they're talking, the camera goes to them.
What's
How
that?
do they control that? That's how Zoom is.
Just like you're talking, and now the camera goes to you.
Oh, okay. I do work in an office, but not too well.
That's all right. We're all still learning everything.
Okay, so rabbit fish to kill the zoas and get the copper band, huh?
No, but you have those shit death eat your tank alive zoas.
I actually got rid of all of those.
How is that even possible?
Well, most of them were growing on the glass, and I scraped them.
You
And
use
then the
your
rocks
water,
that
Cody.
weren't, I gave them to Steve Carroll, and he put them in his tank, and they all died.
All right.
I had a copper band for 7 years. He never ate one Aptasia.
They didn't die. Somebody ate them all.
Hi, Steve! How you doing, buddy?
Steve, let's see
All
your
right.
buddy.
But they're gone. I killed them all, huh?
So I don't know how to do this. This is my latest addition to the tank as of Sunday.
What, to hide the light? To hide
No.
Oh, look what he did. It's awesome.
Oh, okay.
Nice. That's awesome.
My mangrove lagoon. Yeah. So I set that up Sunday. Doesn't have much in it yet.
Steve, are you still running the algae scrubber?
Yeah. Yep.
So new guys, check out Steve's algae scrubber. So instead of spending a bunch of money on an algae scrubber, he made it go.
Okay. There's my algae scrubber in my
Holy
overflow.
Cool.
Yummy.
Yeah, it'll come off in
Nest in
sheets.
there and put a light, and it grows automatically.
Hey, taste it.
Yeah.
No.
Thanks, Cody.
Dude, it's organic.
Yeah, it probably is healthy, and the copepods give a nice little bit of protein.
Go.
So,
Hey, Steve, show us the biggest sailfin known to man.
well,
Oh,
sadly,
no,
the biggest
no,
sailfin
no.
died recently.
Oh, no!
Oh.
My green and purple anemones were spawning. They turned the whole tank milky white 2 nights in a row. Let's see. There's one. Gosh, I don't know how to angle this. So
How many years did you have him, Steve?
I don't know. A long time. Anyhow, they turned the tank milky white one night, and everything was fine the next day. I checked the tank before I went to bed, and just what am I going to do? I could change a little bit of water, but the skimmer was working, everything was working. So the next day I cleaned the skimmer and cleaned my filter socks, and they spawned again that night. Again, I went to bed at like 12 o'clock. The sail fin looked great. Everybody was fine. I get up in the morning, I'm feeding the fish. Oh, where's the sail fin? Well, he's wedged back in the rocks and back, and clearly was dead. All I can think of is that the other anemones kicked in and started spawning too, and just suffocated it to death. And I don't know, you know, I'm just speculating, but that's all I can guess. But I've got a good 30 some anemones in here. So I can't keep track of them. I'm always getting rid of a couple. So, and like Mark said, I've got, I don't know if it was my fox face or my 2 filefish that have been spawning, but somebody ate all my, don't have any aptasia. Then they ate my zoos. Then they ate my polyps. Now they've eaten my giant palathoas. So.
Oh, not the giant palathoas.
Yeah.
He's
So
talking about Palligrandes, not weeds.
Yeah, well, whatever. Yes,
Yeah.
Palligrandes. So I don't know who's eating them. I hardly ever see. I see the filefish I've seen nipping at the palathoas, but you know, I don't know.
Do you have a rabbit fish in there, Steve?
Yeah, I've got a large rabbit fish. I don't know if you can see it there.
Is that a Magnifica?
Yeah, I think
Magnificent
so. Yes.
foxfish.
Yeah.
Magnifica.
Hey, Steve, can you
Magnifica.
zoom in on your plumbing and your setup for the mangrove tank? I haven't seen that yet.
I can't really zoom. I don't know how to zoom in. It's pretty simple.
I mean,
it's
just
not,
head down, bring it down there so I can see what you did.
there. Can you see it?
Yeah. And so that's just gravity
Pretty simple.
fed off of the, or you have a pump going into it?
I got a pump feeding it. There's one pump just in the all-in-one section that's returning to the right side here. And then this is feeding from my sump into it.
I have a question. How were those fitting underneath your stand?
Well, you should have seen me trying to get them out from under there.
I mean, those things like about 5 feet tall, man.
Well, you can see they're pretty much flat here
okay.
from being under there. I mean, they sprung up a little bit, and the very tops of the leaves were burnt from being against the lights and on top of the lights. So now my sump used to be dark. Now it's got all sorts of light. So.
Hey, Steve, how much were those mangroves, and where'd you get them? Did you already say?
I got them at Reef-a-polooza.
From Julian?
Yeah, Julian sprung they're about 3 years old now.
Nice.
So I think I paid $9 each. They didn't have a single branch leaf on them.
Nice.
You know, they're just little sticks. So you probably can't see, but I planted them in a plastic basket with some miracle mud and just gravel and some rocks. So to move them, I had to cut the basket off, and then the roots basically formed that into a brick of, it just came out as a brick. So some of the roots were hanging out and or down in the bottom, but it didn't come out exactly the way I'd intended, but I'm pretty happy with the result.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
I don't know how to get a good view. So, yeah, and I still need to hang the light over it, so I've got to do that. I actually intended to do it today, but it'll be tomorrow.
Hey, Greg, we've got a request here to see your tank. I guess they don't believe that you actually have one.
Yeah.
We know he has one. We even heard he had a leaky roof and filled it.
I want to see Natalie's tank. Not Freddie's.
Oh, I want to see Natalie's tank.
I want to see Natalie's tank that Freddie takes care of.
You're laughing.
I see Freddie over there. I'm pretty sure I saw him.
Do you want to see all the empty ones in the garage, or which ones do you want to see?
Hold on, I still got eating.
And I want to see your baby too.
Oh, she's asleep. We
Aw,
just
man.
put her to sleep.
There you go.
All right, guys, I'm going to record this for YouTube, but I'm going to bed.
okay.
Good night, guys.
Oh, wow, it
I'm
looks
going to
like
watch TV with the wife. Good night.
Good night.
You guys want? Do you really want to see our tank? Our tanks?
Yeah.
Right
Yeah,
now.
sure.
Well, do you want to see our empty one that supposedly he was going to take care of?
Oh, now it's
Damn.
Oh, it's Greg 2.0.
Greg inspired us for the empty
Yeah.
tank club.
And
Do you
then
have
the
a
other
son coming
one,
from Germany too?
Got a
we
hole in
haven't
it.
been taking care of it because of the baby, and we have a new house and all these changes and my master program. But this is our tank. There's an outgrowth. I forgot what that's called.
Sinularia at the
Yeah, I
top.
think so.
The coral.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Looks cool.
anybody want some? Because I'm tired of it. It's killing everything. I can't. Do you have the light? It's too blue.
You don't have a filter?
Somewhere.
Where
If
is
you got
it?
a set of the glasses, they give out. You put it over the thing.
Well, we have it, but we've just moved. Everything's still in boxes because I was in the master program. I was pregnant. I gave birth. Quarantine. Everything. Okay.
Congratulations on moving.
Thank you.
Where did you guys get a place at?
Norwalk. It's a community.
Okay.
I thought you're moving next door to Ben Russ.
You think having Ben every day in our house? He already texted.
We're working on it. We're getting closer.
We did look at one. Nope. I don't want Ben.
Nope,
I love him to death, but I don't want him next to him. I barely get Freddie to do stuff here. Imagine having Ben over. No. I need my life.
Who else has a tank? Who else wants to show off their goods? Come
Not
on.
yours, Mike. You haven't showed yours.
Dude, you've seen my tank this whole meeting.
No,
Well,
but
yeah, but you would
get
just
closer.
see it with
I
your
wanna
big
see it.
head. We can't move.
Oh, okay. My big head.
Where's the puppy?
Oh, where is the puppy? Charlie! Charlie, come!
I saw him trying to eat your food earlier.
I know, right?
I want to
He
see all
tried
those
to eat.
fancy fish you have.
He's got a cone on his head or something.
Right here.
Oh,
Let's see all those fancy fish. Get a little
what
bit
do you want to
closer.
see?
Yeah.
Let's see. Tank's a little dirty. So can you guys see it?
Everybody wasn't prepared for this.
No. Greg hasn't showed his. He's all sitting there.
So, by the way, everyone that said my Achilles would kill my powder blue, fuck you guys. Both still alive.
A broken clock's right twice a day, my friend.
All right, wait. What's the dog there? All right, here we go.
Here he is. I don't remember.
We're thinking of getting a dog, but we're not sure yet.
Do you want mine?
What do you have?
The yappy one.
Now he's chilling, but it's like freaking 10 o'clock.
I want a schnauzer.
Who else? I want to see. Hey, Moondoggy, let's see your tank.
I gotta move my body.
Thank you for watching this episode of Sabina Reefing. I've got a video here and a playlist. Hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.